Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we did a call out last week for users to test the 4.0 alpha release. We did it over Twitter to start with, and we got 35 people registered for the remote testing on Twitter and 9 registered for the in-house testing. Since yesterday releasing the newsletter, we got another 100 registered for the remote testing. So more than what we expected, but we don't expect to get everybody testing in response. So out of the 35 testers for the remote testing, we got 9 responses back so far. I don't expect to get any more back out of this group because their user link or user invite would actually be expired by now. So I'll send out another blast today to the 100 or maybe a small amount of them and see who we get back. But so far the response has been quite positive. So out of all the comments, about 47% has been positive. Roughly 4 bugs have come in and the rest has been feedback. So all of that has been put into the 4.0 Bug Bash feedback Trello board. So if you wanted to have a look there to go through it. And I've also put a link to all the responses on the TLDR page for today, if you're interested. So out of all of that feedback, how we structured the test was that we asked them to do 3 tasks. So the first task was just a simple deployment, and the second task was a tenanted deployment. The third task was anything that they do on a regular basis. So out of all of that, all the feedback, these are the areas that they commented on. Variable editor obviously being the highest, and then followed by tenants as well. Some of the users that tested had never been to the tenants area before. So they kind of found it a little bit confusing, but they said once they went to the docs, it kind of all made sense and they were able to do it, which is good. So some of the themes from the feedback was that the deployments target list would be useful. So I think originally in the concepts we had an area under infrastructure that was just for deployment targets. So somebody commented that would be more useful to them than the environments page, because they like to obviously see all their deployment targets in one go. They obviously don't have too many. Some weren't clear of that they had to click add list in the variable editor. So I think there's a lot of reviewing that we need to do around that. And I think we've also picked that up ourselves. Lots of comments on the advanced filter crowding the data, and maybe we should have it hidden by default rather than visible by default. And that was just about the tenants. They found it confusing until they read the docs. And some users commented on having trouble finding things. Obviously, we've moved things around. So they found things in the overflow menu, but they said after that, once they know it's there, they're like, oh, it's okay. It made sense that we had put it there. So that was good to know. We also asked them to rate their experience in Octopus 4. So far, obviously, we're at the higher end of the rating, which is good. So 10's the highest at the moment. And we also asked them to rate the performance. So far we're looking good. We've only had one of our big 3 customers test against their instance or against their data for the performance. So we had Derivco test yesterday, and Mark and I jumped online with them and had a look at how it ran, and it looked pretty good. It wasn't lightning fast, but it was definitely faster than what they had on the environments page. And Anton has sent me an email this morning with a few bugs and some nice to haves from their point of view. So I'll also collate that and put that into our 4.0 feedback board. And then this Thursday we have registered for 9 testers to come into the office to test, so we can kind of see how they use Octopus as well, which will be nice. And that's happening from 12 to 1. So we're supplying pizza and beer and soft drink for them. But if you are in the office that day, we're going to just kind of gauge it and see how many seats we have. But if there's not enough seats, you might just have to go out for lunch. So that we give our users the priority seating for that hour. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of food and drinks left if you don't have enough when you're out. So that's it for the testing.